Many of the messes that you are in, or the messes that some of your family and friends are in, you just have to own, you just have to admit, here's the thing, I can't fill the gap. It's that simple. I can't fix this. I can't make this right. Look, there are hurts that only heaven can heal. And there are regrets that only God's grace can erase. And there are relationships that only our Redeemer can reconcile. And you could come up with a lot of other things here also. There are gaps that only God can fill. This, what I'm about to show you, is one of just the foundational pillars of my life. If we've been together before, you may have heard me say this. This is something that you can build your life on. It's just this simple belief that only God can do what only God can do. And we spend our lives expecting people and situations and ourselves to be able to do what God can do, but you should only expect God to do what only God can do. And there are certain gaps in our lives between where we are and where we want to be that you cannot fill, that you cannot leap over, that you cannot fix. But yet it is just ingrained in us, it is innate in our human nature to want to fix these things through any means other than the one God that can fix them. This goes back for centuries. There's this great moment in the Old Testament. It's a scary moment where Israel, Judah, is getting ready to fall. Surrounded by enemies, things are tumultuous inside, there's all kinds of corruption. And God speaks through the prophet Jeremiah, and he says, I know exactly what my people are going to do. I've seen my people do this before. He could say this about my life. I know exactly what the people are going to do. They're in crisis. Here's what they're going to do. Then the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, which is the capital, they'll go and they'll cry out to the gods to whom they make offerings. This is other gods. But they will never save them in the time of their trouble. God says, I know exactly what the people will do because it's just in their human nature. He could say this to you. I know exactly what the inclination of your heart initially is going to do. It's going to be to try to rely on anything other than God. But that's never going to save you. It's never going to save you. What are you inclined to put in that gap? I mean, you could speak just in general or in a specific situation. What are you inclined to rely on to get you from there to here? For me, I know my go-to and I know my fail-safe when my go-to doesn't work. My go-to is to work harder, to fix it myself. If there's some kind of a mess, I am going to figure out how to fix this. And I am going to work until my anxiety is through the roof. I'm going to work until I've got nothing else that's left in me. And then, when that doesn't work, I'm going to retreat and have a kind of escapism. When I'm trying to fill the gap myself, that's what I do. And I've had to cut out, and I'm still working to cut out through God's grace, several habits that I've had in the past and some that I have now that I try to put in here in the categories of working really hard or some kind of escapism. For you, what do you put in that gap? And what would it look like if you just began to admit that you can't get yourself from there to there?